Plan your perfect daily routine in Notion and stay on top of it with custom daily routines for specific days, practical database views featuring a daily and weekly schedule, and a simple setup process. All of this is possible with the daily routine planner template, which we are going to build completely from scratch in today's tutorial. And if you don't feel like building your own template, simply check the link in the description below this video to grab your free copy of this template. All I ask for in return from you is to please like this video and to subscribe to my channel. I also want to take this moment to say a big thank you to everyone who has already subscribed and who helped me to reach the 1000 subscriber milestone. The support and feedback that I've received from you guys has honestly been amazing and has motivated me to go all in on this channel this year. So now let's go and get the 10,000 subscriber milestone. To get the most out of this step-by-step tutorial, don't forget that you can adjust the video playback speed to make the video faster or slower whenever needed. And now let's get to it. As always, we are starting completely from scratch with a new page in my Notion workspace, which I'm gonna call Daily Routine Planner. And we're gonna add an icon to it. Here, I'm gonna look for the clock icon. Then I'm gonna jump into the empty page and I type /call and I select a callout block, which in my case is already formatted to be gray. Then I type 2 hashtags and I'm gonna type content because this is the section where I add my database. I press enter to go into the next block and then I type /data and then I select database full page from the list to open up a new database page. And I give the database the title Daily Routine Planner Database. I also add an icon to the database here. Here I always like to use the actual stack disk database icon for the main database of all of my templates. The first thing I'm going to do in our database is to rename our table view. By clicking on it and then on rename, I'm going to call it all and it's also going to get the database icon. The main purpose of this database view is to create all the properties that we need for this template because this is easiest done in the table view where you have all the properties and all the data visible at all times. To create our first property, I click on the plus symbol and I'm going to type in text because we want to create a text property, which I'm going to give the title time. And I'm also going to give it an icon. And here I'm going to select the clock icon again. Then I click on the plus symbol again. And I'm going to type in multi to find the multi-select property, which I'm going to title days. Then I press enter to confirm the new title. And now below in this menu, I'm going to create the different weekday options for this multi-select property from Monday to Sunday. Feel free to assign whatever colors you want for these options. The next property we're going to create is a formula. So I click on the plus symbol again. I type in formula, I press enter to select it, and this one is going to get the title today check. And now I need to create another formula. So what I can do now is just simply click on the property here, then click on duplicate property. Then I can click on the newly created one again. And this one we're gonna call time check. Now, before I jump into the formula editor to create our formulas, I actually wanna add some sample data to our table first, which is going to make it easier to work with the formula editor because you can see results in real time. Before I add my data, I also want to rename our title property by clicking on it, and then I'm gonna change the name from simply name to activity. So to create my first entry, I'm gonna click on new page, and this one I'm gonna call wake up. I'm gonna assign an icon to it by clicking here on the menu. This one gets an emoji where I'm gonna select the alarm clock. For the time, we have to use a specific format. So in my case, I want to wake up at 6. So I'm going to write 06, followed by a colon, followed by 2 zeros for the minutes, then a space, a hyphen, a space. And let's say I'm fine with waking up somewhere between 6 and 7. Then I might just type in 6 to 7 in this format. And now let's select the days by clicking on the field in the days property. And here I'm going to select all the weekdays from Monday to Friday. One thing that I can see now is that the properties are wrapped, which I want to avoid. So I click on the 3-dot menu, I click on layout, and here I can deactivate wrap all columns, which leads to all properties that we choose in select properties and also long text parts to only be shown in one line. And if they're longer than the actual width of the property column, it's just going to be cut. So now I'm also going to adjust the width of our days property to make it a little larger. I can also go ahead and make our formula properties a little bit smaller by dragging them in. And now I'm going to add another few entries of sample data into the table. Okay, now we have our basic sample daily routine. I hope yours looks different, but this will do the job for our tutorial. So now let's jump into the formula editor and work on our today check formula by simply clicking in one of the cells here in the today check property. As you can see, the formula is quite simple and only consists of one if function. This if function checks for one specific condition, which you can probably tell by the name of the formula, is whether or not today is part of the days that we have selected here in the days property, which are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for this specific activity. So by using the contains function within here, I can check whether or not the date of today, which is basically this part here from format date now, just formatted in this specific way of only showing the weekday, is part of the days property. And if it is, then I want the formula to give me a check mark. And if it's not, then I want it to give me an empty check mark. So this way I can easily and visually see, is this current activity happening today or not? Now you can see that the checkbox has appeared in all of the activities cells, but now let's see what happens when I go into the wake up activity and I remove the Tuesday weekday from this one. You can see now that the checkbox is empty because today, as I'm recording this tutorial, it's a Tuesday, which means that this activity is no longer relevant for Tuesdays, so the today check gives me a false result, which is an empty checkbox. Now to get to work on the second formula, I'm going to click again here into one cell in the time check property, and I'm going to copy and paste the formula and then explain it to you again step by step. Here I'm making a simple comparison by using the greater operator between today's date, formatted to only show the time because the day and month are irrelevant here, and this time substring, which I'm extracting from our time property. So if the format of the time property is like this, from 6 to 7, it will only slice out the last part, the last 5 characters, which you can find here. So in this case, it would be 7. Or if the text property is actually just one time, for example, the sleep, which is just the end of the day, so I don't have an end time assigned for it, then it will just use this time instead. So in this case, I'm just comparing the current time of the day to the end time that we have specified here. So let's click on save. And now you can see that for the time check property, only the first activity, the wake up activity, has received a marked check mark, while the other ones are still empty. And the reason for this is the end time of the wake up activity is 7 a.m. And at the time of recording this tutorial, it's 9:31 in the morning, which means this activity has already passed, it's checked off, but all the other activities, because they are ending at 12, 1, and 6 in the evening, have still not occurred, so the time check is still marking them as empty. The last thing I want to add to this view is click on the double arrows up here to add a sort. I click on time and I leave it on ascending. This is going to make sure that we always see all the activities from early to late. Next up, we're going to create a view where we only see the activities that are still on for today. For this, let's click on the all table view that we have here and then click on duplicate. Then let's rename it to today and let's give it a certain calendar icon. Then we stay here in the menu because we want to change the layout from table to gallery. And here we want to change the card preview to none, the card size to small, and the rest we keep as it is. Then we go back into the main menu and we go into the properties. And here we want to make sure that the time property is visible. Then we go back into the menu again and we click on filter. And here I'm going to create an advanced filter. Let's open it up, and in here we want to add 2 different filter rules. The first one we set to today check. We set it to is, and then we mark only the ones that are checked because we only want to see the ones that are actually relevant for today. Then I'm going to add a second filter rule for which I'm going to select the time check property. And here I set the checkmark to unchecked. Because with this filter, we want to make sure that we only see activities that are still upcoming today and not the ones that have already passed. Then we can move back out into the menu, and here you can also see that a sort is already set up because we duplicated this view from the all view, so it has the exact same sort set up already and we don't have to do this again ourselves. So now we have a small dynamic view of our daily routine, which is only going to show us the upcoming activities for the current day. For the next view, we are going to duplicate our all view once more. So I make a click on it to activate it. I click again and I click duplicate. And this one we're going to call weekly. And I assign a different calendar icon to it. Also, once more, I'm going to change a different layout. So I click on layout and here I select board. In here, I'm only going to make 2 changes. I'm going to change the card size to small and I'm going to activate the color columns option. Then we go back into the menu, we go to the next point, to the properties, and again here I make sure that the time property is visible. Then we go back into the menu, again the sort is already set up from our all table view. Then I'm going to click on the group option here because I can see that the days are not properly sorted. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off hide empty groups. Color columns is activated from before, and now I'm quickly going to arrange these and sort these days manually. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and no days I'm gonna hide because we don't need to see that one. And then I can close this menu, and now you can see we have now created a weekly overview where we see all the activities for each individual day of the week, where we now only have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Our Saturday and our Sundays are empty because we haven't set up any activities for them. But let me show you what happens when we add the Saturday and Sunday option to our wake up activity. I go back into the schedule and now you can see it is already showing up for Saturday and Sunday. So this is the perfect overview for an entire week when you want to plan and design your own daily routine. I really hope you're enjoying the tutorial so far, and please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel. It really makes a difference. Now we have already set up the database views that we need for our dashboard later, but I also want to show you how to create individual views for specific days so that you can create custom daily routines for the different days in your week. To do so, let's jump back into the all table view first. And while we're here, I also want to drag this view all the way to the right. Now I'm going to show you the best practice of how to set up custom daily routines for specific days. In the example, I'm going to use what I'm using for my daily routine planner, which is workout days, run days, and the weekend. But you have to think for yourself, what kind of days do you have? Do you have different days like me that you define by one is being for workouts, one is for running, and then the weekend? Do you only want to have different custom routines for weekdays and weekends? Or do you have multiple different days because you work different jobs and so on? This is completely up to you, and I'm gonna walk you through this sample, which hopefully will explain everything. So in my case, the first specific day that I want to create is a workout day. So I'm going to duplicate this all view because this table view is still the best to set up our activities. I'm gonna give this one the name workout day and also a fitting icon. And now I'm going to set up an important filter because for me, I want to make sure that this view only shows me Monday, Wednesday, and Friday activities because this is my workout day. And now let's also add a workout to the actual activity. So I'm going to add one more activity. I'm going to assign it a fitting icon where we put the weights from the gym or the guy working out. Perfect. I'm going to be working out from 6 to 8 in the evening. Then I have to adjust my sleep, which has to be later now. And for my workout, I'm going to select now that this activity is also only happening on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. On all the other days, I'm not going to be working out. And I'm going to minimize this filter menu again. I'm also going to change the wake up here to fit our Tuesday again as we had it before. Just copying from here. So now you can see the activities for my workout day. But now let's see what happens when we duplicate this view. I'm gonna call this one run day. And here I'm gonna select a running man as an icon. And here I'm going to change the filter to only show me Tuesday and Thursday, which are my running days. So now you can see that the workout activity from our workout day is no longer visible. Instead, I'm gonna set up a running activity. So let's fill that in here. Let's give it another fitting icon, a running man. There we go. And now I'm gonna set this one from 6 to 8 again, just like the working out. And I'm gonna add Thursday as well. And now you can see in direct comparison, our workout day and our running day have the same routine, but they differ in the workout and running activity. Now let's also set up a specific view for our weekends. So I'm gonna duplicate this view. I'm gonna call it weekend this time. And because we just wanna chill, I'm gonna find a bed icon. And then I'm going to change the filter here. And I only wanted to include our Saturdays and our Sundays. And now you can see that we don't have any activities here at all, because as you remember in the all view, everything was already only set to Monday to Friday or only to the specific workout or run days. So on the weekend, we can start from scratch. So on the weekend, maybe I wake up and here I type from 9 in the morning to 10 is a good wake up time. Then I'm just gonna chill from 10 to all the way until 8 in the evening. And then I'm gonna sleep still early for whatever reason at 8. I'm gonna add the Sunday option to this one. I can also copy this quickly, fill it in here. And let's add some icons again, because why not? We add the alarm clock, we chill, and we also sleep at 8. And then we have our weekend set up. And now let's take one last look into our weekly schedule to check if everything is set up correctly. So here we can see now that we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We have a workout scheduled for Mondays, for Wednesdays, and for Fridays. We run on Tuesdays and on Thursdays. And on Saturday and Sunday, all we do is wake up, chill, and sleep. And this concludes the work we had to do on our database. The last thing I'm going to do here is click on the three-dot menu to lock the database, which I recommend you to do as well whenever you're not actively working on the database to prevent any accidental changes. Now that we've finished the work on our database, it's time to work on our dashboard. So let's jump back into the main page. And here I'm going to create a new block, a couple of them actually. And I'm gonna move them up here because I wanna have some space. Here in the second one, I'm gonna create a new callout block. And here I'm gonna type 2 hashtags to create another heading 2, which I'm gonna give the title daily schedule. I can also give an icon to a callout block, for which I'm going to choose the clock once more. Then the block underneath, I'm gonna add one more. And then the upper one, I'm going to type in /linked. And I'm gonna select link view of a database. And I'm gonna select the daily routine planner database that we have just created. And here I'm going to select the today view. And the only thing that I'm gonna change here is I'm gonna click on the 3 dots here and I'm gonna hide the database title. Then I click on the plus symbol because I wanna add one more view. Again, I click on empty view. I select the same database. And here I select our weekly schedule overview. And once more, I'm gonna click on the 3 dots and hide the database title. And then I click on the 3 dots here in the database view, and I'm gonna click on log views, because again, I don't wanna make any accidental changes. So now all we have done here to create our dashboard is to use the database views that we have created earlier. Again, the today view is only going to show us the routine activities that are still upcoming on today's day. And the weekly schedule is where we can check into our entire week schedule. The last thing that I'm going to add here to the dashboard is simply adding a divider by typing in 3 hyphens to separate the content section from our daily schedule. And now I can also go into the three-dot menu of this page and lock this entire page again to prevent any accidental changes. Now the only thing you have to do whenever you want to update your daily routine is jump back into our database, unlock it, and then you can add more specific days or activities to your specific days. That's completely customizable and up to you. I hope this template and tutorial inspires you to plan your own perfect daily routine, which is a practice that I regularly come back to. Sometimes all it takes to get back on track after a stressful or chaotic period is to just sit down and plan out what an ideal day would actually look like in order to get some structure back into our daily life. Make sure to grab your free copy of this template by checking the link in the description below this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment below this video to let me know what kind of template or tutorial you would like to see next. If you want to stay up to date about my content, the latest Notion features, and exclusive launch discounts for my upcoming pro templates, make sure to subscribe to my free newsletter.